Hello, people. What is going on? Welcome back to E20 Zone TV. I hope everyone's all well out there in the world and doing good and had a good week so far. I am here to talk about. I'll have to call you later. I'm here to talk about a few things in regards of West Ham. Do you know what I'm saying? And obviously, Lucas Paqueta is gone. Axel Disasi looks like he could be on his way to West Ham. And, it's going to be an interesting few days. It really is. And we're going to see if West Ham are all what they're cracked up to be. Chuck your comments in. If you want to got something to say it, sort it, see it, and all that game. And, jump in and say what you like. Do you know what I'm saying? Obviously, you've seen the sort of reports and the stuff that has been going around social media in regards to Lucas Paqueta. He has arrived in Rio, and that move looks like it's going to be finalised. He actually looks like he does an interview and starts crying and all that. And I know people say about he just wants to go home, the geezer, but I feel like he stitched us up a little bit, if I'm being truthfully honest. But it is what it is. It is what it is. So, we will see what happens in regard to that. And also, no Jesse Lingard. Apparently today has come out that West Ham are not having no Jesse Lingard whatsoever at West Ham United. So, I don't know. Well, people say that we shouldn't replace Lucas Paqueta. And then there's some people saying that we ain't going to replace Lucas Paqueta. And it's like the catch-22 situation with some people because Sullivan's got a wad of money burning a hole in his pocket, and you don't want him to waste it, but then we do need a replacement. I think we need a replacement for Lucas Paqueta, really. I think we need to bring someone in like a Hayden Hackney or someone like that, but are we going to do it? That will remain to be seen. So, Rob's in the chat. Shout out to Rob. Come on, you irons. We need a result at weekends. That's one thing I will say. We 100% need a result. Lingard will definitely come. Sullivan special. I don't think he will, mate. I don't think he will. Otherwise, it would have been done already. But in saying that, we all know that he loves a late sort of can't find anyone he will do situation. So, we're going to find out, man. We're going to find out what is going on. Anyone who wants to come on, by all means, the link is in the chat. Come on, say what you like. Is what it is. You reckon he'll bring anyone in? I reckon Disasi, I reckon's about 80%. That's what I reckon. I reckon Disasi's the one. I don't get the goalkeeper situation. I don't like it that Areola is being linked to Turkey now all of a sudden. And if that happens, if we get rid of Areola, bring in the Spurs goalkeeper as our number one, I'm going to go mad, mate. I'm going to go mad, like, in this, and I see people saying about Sullivan and all that, saying they see Sullivan play in regards to this Lucas Paqueta thing. I stand by this, what I said previous. I don't think this is on the board, but it's going to be interesting to see right now what he's going to do. What's he going to do in regards to this money? Now, do we want him to spend the dough? Yeah. But do we want him to go and waste it? No. Do you know what I'm saying? We don't want him to go out and start fucking getting anyone in. I think we've got to face facts that we're in such a shit situation that we don't know which way to go with it. Do you know what I mean? Mate, it's between Manson and Kinski. They're about as solid as shake. Fucking hell. I don't know, mate. I don't know what the crack is. I really don't. Has Sully got one big move left in this window, James? I don't think so, mate. I don't think so. I don't think he's going to spend that, though, if I'm being honest. I'm not... Listen, my attitude is I don't think this is on the board for getting Lucas Paqueta out. Well, I'll stand by that. I fucking hate the board, and I will say it openly. I don't think it was that. I think that Lucas Paqueta put them in a sort of situation where they was checkmated. He stays. He's going to be unhappy. He's not a value. They get rid of him. Who are we going to bring in? Do you know what I mean? West Ham should raid the championship. There must be players in the championship. Must be. right? And I see a quote last night, and I'm going to get to it, right? And this is what the quote said. I couldn't believe it because I even, in the WhatsApp group that I'm a part of, right? I had to ask them to give me context for this because I was like, is he having a fucking laugh or what? And basically it was something along the lines of Sullivan can't find any top players, because what top players are going to want to come to West Ham? And I was like, but this is this is your job. This is where, right, if you've known that Lucas Paqueta was only going to do one more year, surely you must have a replacement lined up. Yeah. You know, it's just fucking common sense at this club. But one thing with this club is common sense just doesn't work. It doesn't work at all. Barring any shock, top draw signings, this window is for relegation, James. Fucking don't say that, mate. Don't say that. Do you know what? I'm trying to keep a brave face on it in regards of us not going down, because I still believe that there's a chance, and I've seen West Ham in worse situations than this. What I'm not liking is some of the maddest fucking transfers I've ever seen in my life, like the goalkeeper situation. Now, is that goalkeeper coming in, right, to compete with Hermansen? Because if Ariola does go, there's no way he's getting rid of Mads Hermansen. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's funny how we're getting rid of all the eye earners and all. There's a lot of eye earners that are disappearing quite quickly. James Ward-Prowse, Ariola, Lucas Paqueta. Yeah, is he acid stripping the fucking club away? You know, I'm still not having Tati or Pablo, James. Tati's more of a 10. Pablo's not good enough. I spend Paqueta money on a centre forward. The bottom line, James, despite the 2 wins, the damage is already done. In the previous 4, need at least 7 wins. Ain't happening. Do you know what, mate? I'm not giving up hope. I'm not. Because, as I say, yeah, come Saturday night, if West Ham get a result, right, the feel-good factor comes back again. So I'm not going to give up hope. My issue is if West Ham do go down, I will aim a lot of my anger towards a certain few people. Some of them are in the fan base. Some of them are at the top of the fucking tree. But, you know, what can we do? Our hands are tied. Do you know what I'm saying? And when you've got fans and supporters who could run this club better than the current owner, that says it all to me. It really does. It says it all. I look at it like this, is that we've got 15 games to try and save ourselves. I think we need 7 wins. I agree with what you just said. When we had 17 games left, I said we need 9. So we're still there or thereabouts. I can see West Ham winning 5 games, but it's the other 2 I can't. Every time I've looked at the fixtures, I'm trying to find a positive in the other sort of 2 results. I can't find it. I just can't find like 2 wins from them. I think we beat Wolves at home. I think we will beat Leeds at home on the final day. But there is 2 games there where I just can't seem to get the fucking win. It's with me, it's leaning towards a draw or a loss, which is not good. Tired of this ownership, James. Once again, 4 days left and we didn't bought enough. I've been saying it for years, mate. I've been saying it for years. I'm fed up. I keep fucking saying it. Do you know what I'm saying? Nothing changes until the owner goes. It's as simple as that. The sooner the owner goes, the sooner people will believe in this club again. And it's as simple as that. As I say, the link is at the top. Anyone who wants to come on, I'm going to do an hour set. So don't all rush in at once. We're reducing the wage bill to bring one big earner. I don't think so, mate. I'll be shocked if Sullivan goes and spends 100 million in this window. I really do. That's why my anger is a little bit towards Lucas Paqueta, because I don't think West Ham plan to sell him. I've got this thing in their head that Sullivan has orchestrated this and planned this to get rid of Lucas Paqueta in this window. I don't think so. I really don't. I think he's chucked a spanner in the works, and West Ham are like, well, what do I do now? Because do I want them to go and spend the £40 million right now? I do, but I don't want them to waste it. I don't want them to go and just buy any old shit. And we're all going, well, why are we buying him for that amount? Like, what a waste of money. So you're in a bit of a shit situation at the minute. We are. The only way we're going to get out of this is if we get out of it with the players he's got. I'm not convinced on Nuno because I watched his interview today, an hour ago, and I was like, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying what you're coming out with, mate. Do you know what I'm saying? Damien says I want Duran on loan. It'd be a start, wouldn't it? James, we've already spent the Paqueta money. I disagree, mate. I don't think we have. I'm not listening to these ITKs because Lewis Guilherme money was there, right? Amount of money that we're saving on wages and all that. You know, it's going to be interesting to see. But I'm not going to give up hope on this club. Fucking far from it. Because the thing is, when we think we're all down, yeah, that's when they come back. And then let's be honest, the last two performances have been pretty good, right? Spurs first half was a good first half, shit second. I thought Sunderland first half was the best first half all season. I'm not going to give up hope, mate. Listen, come Saturday night, if West Ham lose against Chelsea, it's not going to be the end of the world for me. Because if we lose against them, which I'm expecting us to lose against them, because I can't see us winning against them. But then saying that, it's nothing surprising. This is why we love the game. Because nothing would surprise me with West Ham going and beating Chelsea and then fucking losing against Burnley the following week. That is West Ham to a T. I can see Sterling in next. Another overhyped. He ain't coming to us, mate. I've just read that he's got 7 offers from Champions League clubs. There's no way he's coming to us. No chance. Absolute none. There is not a single leaks or smokes about midfielders worries me. I think we've got rid of a hell of a lot of midfielders. I don't understand why we didn't keep Prowse here. I really don't. Because Magassa is, for me, hasn't been all that. Do you know what I mean? He hasn't been amazing, has he? Let's be real. He's had one good game against Manchester United, which was back in December. I think it was beginning part of December. And after that, he's fallen over the edge of a cliff. Right, we have got Potts and all. I've even seen people having a go about fucking Traore, because Traore's here. Traore will be all right. He'll be all right. Let's get to Jakey boy. Hi, James. Hope you're all good, mate. Looks like Sully is pulling a Sullivan special and pocketing the Paqueta money. I hope I'm wrong. He's in a catch-22, isn't he, though, mate? That's the problem. It's like, let's be realistic here, right? Who realistically is going to want to come to West Ham in the situation that we're in? Now, if we was in sort of, let's have a think, Crystal Palace's situation, where they're 8 points clear of relegation, we might be able to attract people. We're not going to attract quality players because we're five adrift, and we're in a situation where we need a lot of hope. Yeah, what's fucked us and what has done us was that Christmas period. That Christmas period killed West Ham, stone dead, right? Fucking losing to Fulham, drawing with Brighton, getting slapped up by Wolves, and then obviously losing to Nottingham Forest, which was like the final nail in the coffin, isn't it? Let's be honest. That's what's done us. If West Ham would have been in a better situation going into the January, we might have had half a chance to sign some people. I'm hoping that they pull something out of their arse from somewhere and they go, right, there you go. There's a signing for you, right? Because obviously now we're going to need a signing to get upbeat about. I just don't see it. I just don't see how we're going to attract anyone to the club in the situation that we're currently in. And people will blame the board, right? And listen, I'm one of the first people to turn around and I fucking hate the board, yeah? But selling the Lucas Paqueta is not on the board for me. That's on him. That's him saying that he wants out, right? And West Ham have gone, oh no, right? How are we going to replace him, right? Yes, we've got the dough, but we've not got the fucking position that we're in. That's what the problem is. Don't believe the bullshit. That's what I'm going to say to you people. See, there's so many people on this fucking platform who talk a lot of bollocks. Lingard would become 100%. Don't care if he's past it. He has experience, credible character for the dressing room. Well, we didn't brought a single English man this window. Well, you know. Let's have a look. What else have we got? 20 million signing off Pablo is possibly the strangest signing I've ever known. Totally bizarre. Well, it's working though, isn't it? Because ever since he's come in, we're unbeaten. We're unbeaten in 3. So ever since he's arrived, hopefully, is what it is. Don't believe the Sullivan bullshit either. True, but I'm not. I don't think this is on him, mate. And I'll be the first one to say it. If I thought it was him, I'd say, yep, it's 100% on him. And I stand by what I said a few weeks ago. The moment Lucas Paqueta come off against Nottingham Forest on the hour mark was the moment he turned around and said, no, I don't want to play for this club no more. And it's been going on for the last 2.5 weeks. For me, he's put us in that situation. Do you know what I'm saying? Tati and Castanelos was already here, right, before Paqueta played up. The moment Paqueta plays up, it leaves West Ham in a shit situation. Now Nuno's going to have to find something. He's going to have to find a player from somewhere and bring him to the club and hope. And that's what we've got is hope. Because who's really want to come to us in this situation? Personally, for me, I think West Ham should just raid the Championship. Go in the Championship. Hayden Hackney is in Borough, yeah. Give him a decent fucking contract. Whack down about 22-25 million pound for him. Good player, solid player, and see what they say. Yeah, because if West Ham do win a couple of games, then we might be able to start spinning this around, right? That's what I would do. It's whether or not they're prepared to do it. Because I personally think Nuno's here next season. I don't think he's getting the sack. I think if we go down, it's up to him whether he wants to stay or not. Because Sullivan won't want to sack him and get another manager in. Because that'd be like, what would that be? 4 managers in nearly 2 years. I can't really see it. So for me, that's what I would do. I'd go in the Championship. There's some good players in the Championship. There's a young lad at Watford. Can't pronounce his name, but he's a tidy little midfielder. Hayden Hackney is the guy that I've been screaming for a long time at this club, right? And on this platform, go and get Hayden Hackney. He's the one that I think him and Fernandez in the middle of the park will be excellent. Energy, good on the ball, passing ability, good. Yeah, I'm down for that. I just don't think these players will look at West Ham and think, oh, it's like going and joining Burnley right now, isn't it? But then saying that, Mr. Ward-Prowse has just gone to fucking Burnley, isn't he? So, Hackney is there, right? And unless they're waiting until the back end of the window, the one thing I don't want them to do, and I will lose me shit, is if they leave it too late in the window in order to go and put a bid in for Hayden Hackney, and then Borough turned around and said, well, you ain't give us enough time to go and find a replacement, and then they keep him. Because that would be a Sullivan move. And then everyone would have to pile in then, because there's nothing stopping West Ham from going and putting a bid in tonight for Hayden Hackney. And go from there. If they do that, and if they fuck that around, then I'll be angry then. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not angry at the minute because I feel like the Lucas Paqueta thing has been pushed by him, right? I will be angry if he decides to go and bid for a fucking player, and then the actual club that he's at say, well, you've given us no time to replace the player. If we stay up, it's most likely going to cost of Palace or Spurs double win. Yeah, no. Listen, we've got to stay up. What we have got to do is we've got to win a game that we're not expected to win. Ideally, this weekend. If West Ham was to go and beat Chelsea this weekend, right, then it'd be like, whoa, right, West Ham are serious. Yeah. Last weekend deflated me. Absolutely deflated me because I was so certain that West Ham would get 2 points behind Forest. And when it didn't happen, and then Leeds in the first half of their game the other week, I was like, I'm watching fucking Brazil 1970s here because I couldn't believe what I was watching, especially with Leeds in the first half. And one thing a few of the boys have turned around and said to me, is that these teams look better than us. They look better defensively than us. Like, why we have not got a centre half at this club, and obviously if Disasi's coming, which I think it is Disasi, right? The way it's been spoke about, etc., feels like it's Disasi on a loan deal to the end of the season, which I'm not totally against. I'm not. I think if Nuno can get the best out of John Clare Todibo in a sort of period of time, I think he can get the best out of Disasi. And I'm not against that signing. I really am not. So, it can be done. And it really can be done, if I'm honest. Let's get to this one. James, it's catch-22 as we still in a really shit position. That's the problem, mate. That's the problem. I never expected, I'll shout out to Hammers 1975, new member. Nice one, mate. I really appreciate the support. I've got a betting video coming up. I'm going to record it tonight. It's going to go out tomorrow. Yeah, get on it. Get some money. It is a shit situation. And obviously, it was only, 2 weeks ago that Sullivan and the people, the sources, turned around and said that it's impossible for West Ham to get out of this situation. I think it feels like he's preparing for the championship, and it's like a safety net. That's what it feels like to me. It feels like he's going, right, we can't overspend here, because if we do go down, we're gonna have no money in the championship. Now, I put this to the chat right now. What's more important, right, is do you gamble again, or do you keep your resources and say, right, he's going to have to go with what he's got, bring in a couple of loans and see what happens, right? I don't think Sullivan's going to pocket the dough. I think he's looking at it that who can we really attract in this situation? Because no one's going to want to come to us. I'm seeing people mentioning Sterling. I see another thing mentioned, and it ain't happening, mate. It ain't happening, because people are looking at us and thinking, West Ham, it's a gamble. Like they're literally gambling with their career, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? So, excuse me. Blimey, wait so long to come along at once. Brian, thank you very much, mate. Really appreciate it. Shout out to Brian. Let's get to old Damien. Adama is a really good signing. Him and another athlete up top. They ran on loan. I'm not even pronouncing that geezer's name. Beto. Some names I'll be interested in. It's whether or not they want to come, though, mate. Right? It's okay. Right? We can all sit here tonight, and I could go through name after name after name of people. It's whether or not they fancy it or not. And one thing we can't have with these 15 games to go are passengers. That's one thing we can't. We can't have no passengers at West Ham now. Right? Everyone's got to be together in this situation. And I don't know. Something tells me West Ham are going to do it. I don't know why. It just feels like West Ham might get this done in the end. We need a drop from the top down. Yeah, and if we can match what we're doing and maintain a good standard of play with West Ham, then we might be all right. We really might be all right. The only issue I've got right now, right, and this is the only issue I've got, is West Ham have won back-to-back games, and we're no further forward, really. Do you know what I'm saying? We're not really made a dent in it. I think it's only a point dent, maybe two at the most, right? So we haven't really made a lot of dents in it. But it's not good, right? But I don't know. I just feel something's telling me it can be done. And if we go to Chelsea at the weekend, which is going to be tough, don't get me wrong, and we turn up, and if we can get a point out of that game, then we're heading in the right direction. It just is what it is. Let's get to this. We will bring at least 4 more players. Have faith. I think we're going to bring in 2, mate. Disasi and the goalkeeper. And that's it. I'll be very shocked if West Ham go any more in. Let's have a look. What else we got here? Shout out to Bazza. We're preparing for the drop. Don't be surprised if more go out and the average players come in. I can't see who else goes out, mate. I really can't. If Areola goes out, then it's they're evacuating the fucking ship basically. Because if Areola does go, they're looking at the wage structure and all. Because the wage structure is a problem. It's funny, Lucas Paqueta, James Ward-Prowse, Alphonse Areola, they're all high earners. They're getting rid of a lot of the high earners. But we'll see. We are winning the next 3 games. The boys are locked in now. Don't know about that, mate. I'll settle for a draw against Chelsea, and we've got to beat Burnley at Turf Moor the following week. That is the one. If you I tell you what, if you want to now you sort of now your bets, right? If we play Burnley at Turf Moor and we don't win that game, then it's done for me. It's done because there's no way that you can expect to stay up if you can't beat the teams around you, right? So I expect West Ham to go to Burnley and win. And the Man United game, I don't know why, but Manchester United, West Ham at the LS night game, West Ham always turn up in against Manchester United throughout history. So, we have to win half our games, James. The odds on that are massive. I won't say we have to win half our games, mate. I'm saying 7 wins, right? And obviously, you can pick up a couple of draws in there, but we need teams to collapse. That's the problem. We actually need teams to drop down. What Crystal Palace are doing right now is fucking sickening because they're getting they've signed 2 strikers today, absolute 2, right? You know what I mean? Strand Larson and Gasson, I think it is from Villa. What can we do? I mean, we can't even get anyone to this club at the minute. So, we have 6 winnable matches left and a couple of draws. I agree with you on that, mate. I've looked at it. Wolves, Leeds, Everton, Burnley, that's 4. Crystal Palace away. West Ham have got a pretty good record at Crystal Palace away. No, we've got hammered there under Moyes, but we won there last year. And Fulham away is another one. And I don't know. I think we need to win a big one. We need to win a big game against a big side. Do you know what I mean? So, Man City, well, the best way of summing it up is Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal. You can write all 3 of them games off, right? Because we ain't winning them games, We've got Clown Cockney's trying to be clever in the chat. Do you know what I'm saying? But we know about you, Clown Cockney. Do you know what I mean? We have beat Chelsea and then lose to Burnley. That is the West Ham way, ladies and gentlemen. That's the West Ham way right there. That is typical West Ham. If we go and beat them and then lose against fucking Burnley the following week, it'd be typical, wouldn't it? Let's get this one. I've got a question here. Question, James. What do you think of the attendance numbers will be in the LS if we drop? I'm going to say about 30,000, mate. That's what I reckon. Maybe about 35. People will go. And what it is, it'll be cheaper tickets. It won't be as expensive. What they will do, they will drop the season ticket prices down because obviously we're not in the Premier League. And I reckon about between 30 and 35,000. I reckon. I reckon a lot of people will walk away after this year if we go down. But I'm hoping we fucking don't, mate. That's what I'm saying. Because I will be devastated deep down. If West Ham go down this year, the 10-year plan that Sullivan's fucking put in place, it's the biggest load of shit going, isn't it? But I think some people will need to have a look at themselves also, as in the fan base. Because sometimes the grass ain't always fucking greener. And what it is, and I'm going to say it, I am going to fucking say it, a lot of people believed a lot of shit a few years ago. from social media. And for me, yeah, I've always stood by my principles and said the one problem is at our club is Sullivan. And everyone thought it was a manager that was a problem, or it was this, or it was a technical director. It's always been Sullivan, always has. And if we do go down, I'm hoping that it's a kick up the arse that everyone needs to say, right, we've got to get this geezer out. The issue is with me, which I've always said, and I've always said this, is how much damage has to be done in order to get him out. That's the problem, because he ain't going to go lightly. Right, he's got too much money invested in this club, and he's. I don't think he's even bothered. If I'm honest, so possible wins: Burnley, Fulham, Wolves, Palace, Leeds, Brentford, Newcastle, Bournemouth, Everton. I can see 5 there. If you want me to be Silver Surfer, I can see 5. Burnley, Wolves, Leeds, Bournemouth, and Everton at home. They're the 5. Fulham, Newcastle, Brentford. Palace is an interesting one, mate. Because West Ham do turn up at Palace on occasion. And it seems like every time, we need a result, they fucking do it. Sullivan is a punk, claims to be a control fan, lets people walk all over him. Mendes picked the strikers. Brady picked the manager. He's a clown. Fair enough, mate. Championship is more fun for the fan. It's not that I want us there. We shouldn't. From where we've been to where we are right now, I will never accept the championship, mate, because you could be down here for 20 years. Like West Ham have got no given right to go and think that they're just going to go into the championship and then piss it completely. Right? Anyone who thinks that is deluded, right? Because we're going to have a completely new side. There's no players that I see there right now who's going to be staying there next year, right? Adama Traore will probably stay there, is what it is. Potts, Magassa maybe. Some of you will be gone. Bowen will be gone. The Castanelos, I think, will go. I think he will go. I think Pablo will stay. And then you start going through the team. I can only see about 8 players staying there, mate, if I'm being realistic. And there's no way you can go and rebuild a side and then expect to go and win it straight away. So there you go. Right, what else I got here? Let's have a look. What else are we saying here? So listen, let me ask you this: are we happy with the business so far? That's the question that needs to be asked. Are people happy with Castanelos, Pablo? We've got Disasi that looks like he's on his way. Obviously, the goalkeeper, the Spurs goalkeeper. I don't know why we're doing that, but fair enough. Adama Traore. All right, I'm okay with it. I think we need a centre half, which will be sorted out. What more? What else do we need? That's the question. Is what else do we need? It's okay, not great. We need more quality. This is the thing, though, Dan. If I'm honest, mate, I don't think anyone with quality wants to come to us. It's us asking for quality. I don't think we need quality, if I'm being honest. I think we need some fucking bastards in there. So we need one thing we do need that we haven't got is experience. We need experience in there. We're getting rid of all our experienced players, which doesn't make no sense. Like, I hope Nuno's got a fucking plan. That's all I'm saying, because if he hasn't, God help him. 100% no. Sleepwalking in the championship. Minimal requirements are 1, maybe 2 centre backs, a leader, the older midfielder, another winger. So let me ask you this in the chat, yeah? Just get you involved. Give me a rating out of 10, what you think the window is for you. I'm going to go... Ooh. I think Tati and Pablo have been two good signings, really, so far. I can't really fault them, because every time they fucking played, we've won. I would probably say a 6 in a minute. It's a 6 out of 10 for me. I think we need, obviously, more. Right, see that Dan's on my wavelength, but 6. Iron's Disciple saying 6 and all. What else have we got? 5. We've got a 4 in there. I like the outs more than the ins. I think you're being harsh. Fucking hell, Riley. 2. I don't think it's a 2, mate. If anyone would have predicted, yeah, that on the 5th day of January that West Ham would have spent 50 million on 2 strikers, yeah, I wouldn't have believed it. I'll say a 6 at the minute. I'm okay with it. Obviously, I know we need more, and he needs to bump it up a little bit more, but, you know, it is what it is. 4 out of 10. Let's have a look. What else we got here? If Wolves can get Gomez, then no, we don't have any excuses. Torre and Tati, I'm happy with, but Pablo, I think Marshall could have done the same job as him and spent the money elsewhere. Fair comment. It's fair. It's fair. Like, Marshall's out in Germany now. That guts me, James. Second, the window opened. They bent the knee to Mendes. Well, you know. The problem is, mate, yeah, is that the longer it goes on with the ownership that we've got, the worse he's going to get, I believe, right? Because he just hasn't got a plan. That's what it is. The geezer hasn't got a plan. So for me, we're always going to have this. We're always going to have like a little scattergun approach where we're just going to pick up anyone. Do you know what I'm saying? If West Ham are looking and thinking they're more realistic to be in the Championship next year, then why are they not raiding the Championship market right now? Ipswich Town done it brilliantly. Yeah, what they done is they raided all the best teams in the Championship in the summer and in the January window, and they went, right, we're going to go and get him, and him from the Championship because they're all up and coming players. And I think they're about 3rd or 4th in the league now, right? West Ham not doing that. West Ham not doing that at all. And that's where it's becoming a bit of a problem. Just do that. So, yeah. So, where it's to be expected 5 or 6 because the baggage has basically left the building. Let's get to this one. Sullivan has a different favoured agent to do blatant money laundering deals with. Used to be Salthouse, now Mendes. At least Mendes players ain't washed like Salthouse. Also, Pablo will come good. I need to see a little bit more from him, mate. I think the work rate's good, but I just need to see a little bit more. But, you know, it is what it is at the minute. Let's get to this one. Double tap all the time. So far, 4 out of 10, but if we get 3 to 4 more, 2 centre-backs, 1 attacking midfielder, 1 centre... What's that, wing-back? Is that centre-forward, is it? He'd be happy. I don't know. Can I see us going and getting another 2 centre-backs? I can't see it. I can see us getting 1, and that's going with 4. So that means we would have Mavropanos to Debo, let's say Disasi, and Max Kilman. I think that's enough from what I see. Because Can I see us getting a winger? Well, we've just got Traore. I can't see us going for another one. Attacking midfield is the one, and that is where Hayden Hackney would be perfect. Hackney in there. If you had a midfield like two of Hackney and fucking Fernandez, God, I'll be over the moon, mate. I'll be over the moon. Duran equals bastard, experience, and goals. John Duran on loan, mate. Do you know what? This is going to make you laugh now. But it was this time last year when West Ham put a bid in of, I think it was 48 million. I think it was 48. Or was it 50? Was it 50? I can't remember what the bid was. And they wanted something like 5 or 6 million more. And West Ham wouldn't budge. It's this time last year. And a year on, if we was to go and get John Duran, see John Duran up front, I'm down for that, mate. He'll get stuck in with Castellanos behind him. He'll do the job. And he'll be like a cult hero. So, can I see that happening though? I just can't see it, mate. I just can't see it at all. It was this time last year. I remember it. That's one thing with me. I've got a fucking really good memory when it comes to remembering transfer windows. Like this time last year, we went for Brian Brobby. We all thought Brian Brobby was going to come from Ajax. He never materialised. Then we changed it and thought John Duran. That never materialised. And then who did we end up with? I think it was Ferguson. The young lad, Evan Ferguson. Thanks, Potter. Prick. If we pay that 5 million a year ago, none of this shit happens. Yet again, Sullivan, nickel and dimed it and fucked it. I can see him coming for 5 months of madness. So he's always been the same, mate. He's always been the same. The thing is with me is I'm not one of these people that once I'm set on something, yeah, even if they're in the right, I'm going to go against them because I just don't like them. Right, I'll work on a balanced basis. Yeah, if the ownership have done something good, I say fair enough, even though I won't like to say it because I'm a man enough to say it. But on that one last year, and the fucking about with that, when you just go and get the player, it is what it is. Like they just don't do it. They just don't fucking do it at all. Duran, Damien's come out with all his names, mate, but he realises that Sullivan's the agent. James, I think we will get one more central midfielder, and that's it. I can't see who it is, mate. Unless they go into the Championship. And as I said earlier on, it ain't even just with Hackney, right? It's with anyone. If they do decide to hit the Championship, which West Ham will look at the Championship, there's no two ways about it. There'll be a player at a Championship club that will look at West Ham and think, I can go there. And if West Ham stay up, I'm going to be a Premier League player. Some players can look at it from the Championship and go, I'm getting my chance now to play Premier League football. And within 5-6 months could be somewhere else. You've only got to look at Pablo right now. Pablo was a £250,000 signing for the club in Portugal. And then he goes on to fucking be £22 million. So there is that aspect. I've not got a problem with the Championship, hitting the Championship. What I have got the problem with is I know that the move that they're going to try and do is if they go in and try and, say that they're going after a player, all the ITK say this is the player that we're going for, and they don't give the club enough time to go and replace the player that we're trying to get. That's the one thing that I will be pissed off with because what is it now? It's Thursday night now. We've got till Monday at 7:00, and the window shuts then. So I expect a lot of action to be happening from now till then. there is a reason he has a clown in his name. I had teams to comment about in the Championship. I don't know what that's about. Right, I'll tell you what. Let's put him in a little moment. Let's get to Barry Cook. Shout out to Barry. If we sign a centre half, he wants to play. Do we drop Mav? He's playing well with Taliba. I think you're going to have to drop one of them, mate. Which one do you want to drop? For me, I hope we do sign a decent centre half. I think Disasi will be it. I'm not against it. Disasi and Tadiba at the back, both French, both would have played, I think, at some point against each other. They might even know each other. So I'm not really against the signing. I really am not. And people say, oh, he got done against PSG under 21s. We've had a lot worse centre halves at the club. Let's put it like that. A hell of a lot worse. So I'm not really against the signing. Let's go back to 2022 January window. Newcastle were in the bottom three in the same position we are now. They signed 5 new players, leaders, and stayed up. So it can be done. New owners were key. Fair point from Darren there, mate. It really is a fair point. I think. Let me have a think. I think he doesn't want to gamble. If you want me to be honest, from looking at it, does he look at it and think, right, do I gamble and try and hope? Right, because that's what he is. He's gambling on teams dropping. I tell you what, one thing that I will say, it shows you what our owner is all about. Because if he can't even prepare himself, and even like someone says a Lucas Paqueta thing, yeah, he told the club that he was going to leave in the summer, right? He's made it 6 months earlier, right? Fine. So where's the target that you've got in place to replace Lucas Paqueta? Who was you looking at to replace him? The problem is this club don't do forward thinking. Brentford, Bournemouth's the perfect club for this. Absolute perfect club. They go and get rid of Semedo, yeah, and they've already lined up someone already. They've already got their target that they knew they was going to get. Some Brazilian from Sao Paulo or somewhere out in Brazil. West Ham don't do that. And the problem is, it's like basically, if it ain't broke, don't fix it sort of thing. Attitude. It's shit, really, but that's our owner for you. Nuno was taking shots back at Sullivan regarding Paqueta. He should have been done 2 years ago. Wrong. He was blaming the FA. Surely not Sullivan's fault we couldn't sell Paqueta. I don't know what's going on with that, mate. If I'm being honest, I really don't. I had my son on the video I done yesterday. I basically turned around and I was honest. I was like, I feel like the geezer's fucked us off, and he's, it is what it is. I'll be surprised if we get anyone in. Brazilian sold, 2 in. Balanced book. The asset strip continues. So, okay. Let me ask this question to you. Yeah? We've signed all these players right now. Yeah? And I'm going to ask this question to you, and I want people in the chat to comment on what they think. What more do you want from this window from now? Right? Forget like personnel. So, do you want them to go and spend the 40 million? Yeah? Because my attitude is that who the fuck are they going to get who's top quality, who's going to want to come to the club? Now, I do agree with them on that. It's very hard to find top quality players who are going to want to come in a relegation battle, right? That is fair. That's a fair point. But the Championship market is there. They've used it numerous occasions. Bowen, Benrahma, to name them two, who have come through that. Even so much so as the Czech league. Yeah, it's a cheap league. Malik Juve, Thomas Souček, Vladimir Sifal. There is players out there. I don't know which way they want to go with it. That's the problem. And I think they're gambling either way. They're gambling that we stay up, and they're gambling if we go down, they've got money in reserve. That's what it is. Fucking, we're gambling with them. Old is why we need a defender. All right, that's our problem all season. All right, Davison, is it tried as ourselves to buy a defender? Fair dues. What else we got? Let's have a look. Let's get to Reese. Shout out to Reese. Sullivan deserves to go down with how poorly the club's run. Sadly, us fans paid the price of it. How can I answer that without going into one? I think some fans deserve if we go down. I'm going to be honest. If we go down, some fans can hold a lot of shit. For me, personally, I'll be heartbroken. Because I know that if we go down, we ain't coming back anytime fucking soon. And there'll be people saying, well, at least we've got Millwall to look forward to. I haven't give a fuck about Millwall since 2009. Do you know what I mean? And I don't really care about them in South East London, right? I couldn't really give a shit. But we go, well, at least we've got Millwall, right? And I'm thinking to myself, this is the problem with this club. The standards at this club were there, right? European football, Europa League football, won a trophy, right? We were signing top players at the time, yeah? Players that were highly sought after all around Europe to come into West Ham United. We've gone from that to now we're going to go into the Championship, and because we're playing Millwall, we'll still have a fucking party about it. Do you know what I mean? This is where it's gone wrong, right? Personally, if I had a magic wand, the first thing I would fucking do is get Sullivan out the fucking door. Right? I said it on a video. You need structure, you need vision, you need ambition. You need a philosophy of this club to say, right, where we're going, what we're doing, and what do you want from being a West Ham fan? You know. But, you know. Oh, dear, mate. A good owner doesn't let this happen, James. He gambled, though, mate. That's what it was, Reese. Do you know what? I remember one thing with doing this YouTube game is I don't forget nothing. I don't forget fuck all. And I remember all the grief that I had a few years ago because of the Moyes in, Moyes out thing. But one thing I do remember is a lot of people was fully against Julian Lopetegui arriving. And I remember when it happened, I was like, this is going to go bad. Right, this is going to go bad very, very quick. Yeah, because he's gambling here on a geezer. And you can always tell if an owner's gambling, right? Because the contract that he offered Julian Lopetegui was pathetic. It was truly pathetic. He offered him a 2-year deal with an option of a 3rd year if West Ham get into Europe. That tells me you're gambling. You're saying to Julian Lopetegui, I want you to do the same as what David Moyes has done, and you've got 2 years to do it. Do you know what I'm saying? And that is where we're going wrong. Everything. Listen, I'm not going to keep banging on about the fucking geriatric owner cunt who runs our club. I'm simply not, because we all know he's a wrong one. But the problem is nothing changes at this club until he's gone and we've got an owner in charge that understands what the fan base are looking at, right? I don't think no one really understands West Ham anymore and understands what it means and everything, from the stadium to the philosophy to the running of the club, the sort of buying and selling players. Well, West Ham always sell players cheap. They never sell players on their true market value. There's a lot of issues at West Ham. And this hasn't just come around in the space of the last 2.5 years. This has been like this for 10 years. I remember when Carlos Bacca back in the day, right? The hype on that. Who was the man, and someone helped me out in the chat here, yeah? Who was at Valencia? The centre forward. What's his fucking name? I just had his name in my head. We was linked to him consistently, right? Oh yes, we're going to go and get this centre forward. I can't remember his fucking name, right? Yeah, but we had Carlos Bacca and we had this geezer from Valencia who was supposed to be on his way, right? And it was a case of we tried FC all the time. The same patterns always apply. The issue is now, it's it is what it is. No, it weren't El Nesri, mate. I can't remember his fucking name. Gomez, Saint Gomez. Something like that. I remember it. He was at Celta Vigo. He went to Celta Vigo, the geezer. Right. I've got his face in my head, but I can't remember his fucking name. So yeah, Gomez, or I think it was like was he Uruguayan? Yeah, he played for Valencia. He was South American. I know that. I will remember it, and I will stick it up later on. James, I'm optimistic like you, but can you find a stat who has the last club has overtaken a 5-point gap at this stage? Well, there is one stat, Mandy. This is why I've got a bit of positivity. Because no club who's been in the bottom three, that's the geezer, William, fucking legend of the game, Maxi Gomez. Remember him? Do you remember William? You're a legend, mate. Give yourself a high five, mate. That's the guy I was on about. Consistently linked, consistently saying that it's happening and we're going to get him and all that. Never materialised. Never materialised at all. Going back to this comment, there is one stat that is true. No team has ever been relegated, right, when all three teams have been in the bottom three at Christmas. So there's always one team that get out of it. Now, and that's actually a true stat. I actually found that. I was like, well, I've got hope. I've got hope. So can we see Wolves turning it around? No. Can I see Burnley turning it around? No. Can I see us turning it around? If we go on a run, then yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just whether or not we can keep enough clean sheets. That's what it is. Oh, yes, Maxi Gomez. So let's go back to what I was just saying. Maxi Gomez, Carlos Bacca, Eze. Eze was massively on the cards to come to West Ham when he was at where was he at? QPR, right? And then obviously Sullivan went in there, decided no, and told the manager at the time, who was Moyes, that you're not going to have him. We're going to go and get Saïd Benrahma. Another one. Look, patterns I've heard. Lacazette is another one. Shout out Daniel. So true. So true. So that's 3 strikers I've named there, or 2, and plus Daniel's one. Yeah, where the same pattern happens over and over again. And you guys are not thick. Trust me, if you sat there and went, the last 10 years, who have we been linked to, where a player's been sort of mentioned in the media, ITKs are mentioning it, fucking hell, we're on fire tonight. We got Neymar, but fucking this thing there. Wait. There's another one. And that was when he was at Chelsea and all. So there's 3 to 4, right? There's so many where the same pattern emerges over and over again, right? John Duran, that's recent, right? John Duran was linked to West Ham consistently, link. And last year, yeah, West Ham go and put a bid in, and so this stuff that comes out about phantom bids, it is true, yeah, because we go and put a bid in that we know is going to get rejected. Do you know what I'm saying? And we done it with Matheus Fernandes in the summer. People said, well, we ain't going to get Matheus Fernandes. Well, we're going to pay 50 million. I said, no, we're not. I said it'd be about 35 to 40 million. Well, I said, we're going to have to pay it because he's that good. So West Ham will go and put a bid in on 25. Like, they're not, our owners are not serious. That's the problem, right? And when you've got an ownership that's not serious, then the club's not serious. So, Moyes wanted Tarkowski, would have been good for now. Yeah, but then you got to look at it that we got Craig Dawson, who was, there you go. Someone got a link. What are you on about, Damien? Someone got a link. The link's at the top of the thing, Damien. Sullivan and the board would have been more shrewd if it was personal money. It's been spent every year, but they are playing Monopoly with our club. I want the whole ball dissolved. Well, I completely agree with you. Do you know what I mean? Do you know who I feel sorry for the most? And I do. Is the people that might not have who haven't experienced relegation. That's the ones that I'm going to feel sorry for at the end of the year if it goes the way I expect it to go. Yeah. If we don't get out of it, right, and we end up going down, well, I am going to be heartbroken deep down. I'm living on hope with West Ham at the minute, but that hope will soon dissolve come the next maybe 5 games. If we go down, I'm going to feel sorry for all the younger fans, all the people that have never experienced relegation. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I experienced my first relegation was in 2003 when I started getting into football back in like 95. I don't remember the relegation before that, right? From 95 up to the present day was when I started watching West Ham and being a young fan. First game, Alvin Martin's testimonial. What a moment. So, you know, if we do go down, and then like it's a reality shock, mate. It's a reality check to a lot of fans, if I'm being honest. Right, let's get this sorted out. Let's let this guy in. DeMarco, what you saying, sir?
What's going on, Fever? What's going on?
Yeah, all good, mate. What do you want to say?
I'll just start with what's on my mind, and then you can like dictate the narrative. Yeah, flipping until you want to chuck me off. Do you know the biggest? We were getting away with bad decisions, yeah, after Moyes. Yeah, I think personally, I don't understand how you can interview Julian Lopetegui and think that's my guy. That's my guy. In the world of modern football, some 67-year-old in a grey cardigan who hasn't been in the game for 2 years rocks up, and you say, and you're sitting in a boardroom and you're going, that's my guy. That's my guy, right? So with Lopetegui, the one relative saving grace that he had, and I see Chrissy, and I think Chrissy talks quite a lot of sense when I chat with Chrissy in the chat.
Yeah.
With Lopetegui, the kind of half saving grace with Lopetegui was he didn't play a totally different style of play to Moyes. It was a bit different. Moyes was a bit more low block, and Lopetegui was a little bit more like get down the side. Yeah.
But the thing is, Damien, right. With Lopetegui, he was free and available.
I know.
Right. And the thing was,
there were better free options than him. That's what I'm saying. I remember Fonseca got mentioned.
Yeah.
That period, and I'm like, that's your man. He's younger, he's more modern. He could get you a Jonathan David at the end of his contract. They went with Lopetegui. I don't understand, but I know even they picked the wrong ones out of the free ones. That's how bad it is. Like, even out of all the people that are free and available, they still managed to pick the wrong ones.
I just feel that this has been coming. Like, this downfall's been coming because when you keep throwing fucking shit up a wall, do you know what I mean? It's always going to come back and fucking bite you in the arse in the end, and it has done. It has done.
The biggest moment in time that I remember, just as a West Ham fan, sometimes, I feel like I said this today in someone else's comments. I feel like throwing my laptop against the wall. Yeah, you feel like you just want to drag someone to say that's the wrong decision. Yeah, a bad decision that this club made, a really, really terrible decision that this club made. Yeah, and this is not me judging him as a manager in total. Yeah, but hiring Potter after Lopetegui was such a bad idea, and I don't have anything deeply against Potter, but the problem with that side at the time, was there was bad feeling around Lopetegui, not so much style of play, I think it was more a persona thing with Lopetegui.
I will tell you what it was on that. Yeah, I'll let you carry on. Right, but I'll tell you the reason why people acted the way they did. Because people believed that they was going to get Alonso, Slot, Almiron. And it's like you believing that you're going to get a fucking Lamborghini. And I say to you, no, Damien, you're going to get a Robin Reliant.
I tried to get behind the thing I didn't like about Lopetegui is I thought that I see this with certain managers. I don't know why they do this. I like managers who are neutral and just go for the best talent and just try and manage the group based on ability. But little things I didn't like about Lopetegui, So, for example, I remember the narrative that summer, coming into the summer. One of the narratives was, we've got a good DM in Alvarez. We need someone who is going to come in and cover him if he gets a yellow card or if he's suspended. So let him play his game. But if he does get a yellow card, take him out for the last 20 minutes and you've got a cover DM there, Because anytime he was getting a yellow card the season before, you could tell he was either walking a tightrope or would get suspended. So that's why I think the club said, go on, get Rodriguez in. Mate, as soon as Rodriguez come in, he was like, if it was up to Lopetegui, he would have been captain. Like, he started every single game. Like, another one that got on my nerves about Lopetegui, Another one that got on my nerves about Lopetegui. So we, coming into that summer window as well, a big need in that side was left wing, because like we got rid of Ben Rama, we got rid of Fornals, we had Ben Johnson giving it a go, we had JWP giving it a go, we missed out on Ibrahim Osman, and so left wing was a big thing. So you go and get Somerville, and then all right, so Lopetegui didn't go straight with Somerville. He put Kudus out there, and people kept saying, stop playing Kudus on the left, give Somerville a go, So Kudus got suspended against Spurs, and then he plays Soler there, and it's just it just so happened to be like the Spanish speaking ones. You know what I mean? It's like Obrigado.
I understand what you're saying. Right, I just see a comment in the chat, and it's quite a valid comment, from
any hateful comments or any disagreeable comments. Show me, because I usually come back to the chat and like there's 100 that disagree with me. I'm happy to talk to people who disagree.
I actually think the running of the club was worse by Potter, even though I was trying to give Potter the benefit of the doubt, than Lopetegui, because someone there just put in there, and they've got a valid point, they got rid of all the experienced players.
I know. And another thing is, this is the point I'm leading to, So even though Lopetegui and Moyes' style of play were a little bit different, they kept the same kind of profile of player in there. Like, they had a back four, you'd probably have two more defensive midfielders, a 10, two wingers and a striker, When Potter come into that team and decide to turn it to a 5 in the back system, it totally lost all direction. And the annoying thing about that is, linked in that January, they were identifying the right type of targets to go and finish off that little project. I was of the belief, that after that summer window that Steiden had, like where he brought in Todibo, Kilman, AWB, Somerville, that summer, I think there was some positives in there, right? A lot of positives. I've just named quite a few of them, And then I think we should have just accepted that we didn't get it right, but we're still building in the same direction. And in the lead up to that January, they were looking at a striker with more pace and a box-to-box midfielder, If you would have added those two at the time and stuck to the system and just bought those two type of players rather than changing shape, I'm telling you, we'd have been in a totally different
I
position.
agree with you. I agree with you. I
In a
do.
totally different position.
Because I remember, like, looking back on it, there was moments where I remember doing these videos and spaces and things like that, and saying to even the boys, I said that I think we're not far away from having a really good team. Like, I honestly think with the situation currently as it is, because it ain't a good situation, right? We can't sugarcoat it, right?
No.
We're in shit. But I feel like the gamble, and I think what it is, it's so like when you're chasing your losses, right? I use this from a betting aspect, right? Anyone who's a punter will know this. But when you start laying bets down and you start losing, you start chasing your dough, and that is exactly what David Sullivan and the ownership of this club have done ever since Julian Lopetegui. They've been trying to chase their losses basically, and the thing is, the Lopetegui signing. Right, I knew that he was coming in January. What was it? Late December, early January.
I remember you saying.
And I mentioned it on a space one night, and I said, I'm not believing any of these what people are saying about these so-called high-end managers. I said I'm hearing a lot about Lopetegui. I'm hearing a lot of stuff that is coming from different sources, but it's very strong in what I'm hearing. I never forget what one of the boys said. He said, fuck off, James. It ain't going to happen. We're going to go with a high-end manager. I said, I'm telling you, mate, it ain't happening. The moment they hired Julian Lopetegui was the moment West Ham decided to go backwards in a fucking blink of an eye. Do you know what I mean? And let's be real. West Ham would have been in trouble last year if there weren't three shitter teams in the league. Do you know what I mean? West Ham got out of it because there was teams in there who had no fight about them whatsoever.
The performances we were putting up second half of the season under Potter were absolutely disgraceful. I mean,
so true.
Absolutely disgraceful. It's like the problem with that group is he couldn't. One thing I give credit to Nuno. Yeah, I do feel like he's in control of what's going on. He works with the right characters. Like as soon as
Damien, is he going to fall out with Sullivan though? Because I can see that one coming.
He could well do. But I think what Nuno really needs to do is understand that. Me personally, my only problem with Nuno so far, other than two really, really bad games against Brentford and Leeds, I put them down to shocking management. Yeah, like really poor management. Other ones I'm less critical of, like people still go on about the Bournemouth game, yeah, where he took Wilson off. Me personally, yeah, I see the sense in taking Wilson off. I thought he'd done it too early, so I give him a bit of leeway about that. For me, if he would have took Wilson off 20 minutes later or 15 minutes later and trusted the fact of that we've still got some forward momentum until Wilson tires out a little bit more. I remember that game. That game was really physical. I think it was after an international break. Without sounding like Arteta making Arsenal excuses, it was peeing down with rain, and it was getting very, very physical. And Wilson did have that reputation of not being able to do 90 minutes. So, from me sitting indoors watching that game, I'm thinking to myself, right, you got a 2-0 goal, a 2-0 lead. Keep the forward momentum going for another 15, 20 minutes. And then shut up shop, but he obviously went a little bit earlier than me.
I remember that game. I remember covering that game on here. Yeah, and he subbed him off after the 52nd minute. That to me tells me that you are thinking to yourself that you're going to try and see this out.
Yeah,
and obviously we didn't. Obviously, right. There's also other situations that we've got to look at, and all. Like, obviously, VAR situations have killed us and all. Right, Nottingham Forest. Brighton, them two games in particular, if we get a VAR call against Brighton, we win the game 1-0, that's 3 points.
I agree.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the Nottingham Forest game, if Somerville's goal counts, which it should have done, that's 2-0. We're not losing that game.
I agree.
And instead, out of both them games got 1 point, we should have had 6. Do you know what I mean? It's a different scenario.
No,
Yeah,
it's bad, isn't it? And the thing is, the situation is on VAR, like to almost show you, like
yeah.
that is. I'm a big believer in you make your own luck in football, but when it does get to these kind of like fine margins down where we are at the moment, when Forest are getting an undeserved 3 points and we're getting 0 points, it's like I'm not sure. I try to keep it humble with referees, innit? I try to not go on too much about referees.
So let me ask you. Let me ask you this. All right. Where does the blame lie for you in regards of the situation West Ham are in? Because I look at it on two parts, right? I look at it on two parts. I look at it on the one part where people wanted a change, but they forgot to run the club. And on the other part, I look at the owner of the club. Like the owner of the club is always going to be a problem, Damien, right?
Yeah.
There's no choice about it. I've been doing this game nearly 5 years. It'll be 5 years in September. I've been doing YouTube. I've been saying it for fucking all of that time, right? That it's the owner, it's the owner, it's the owner. It's no one else. You've got to look at the owner. The issue is, I feel like this has been coming because and I do feel for the people that wanted change. I do, because I think they believe something that didn't exist, and which is a shame. Yeah, but that fucking owner is the problem. And it's down to him.
Yeah. No, listen, I'll say this on. I'd rather say this because I've said this in comments before, but just so people hear me say it, yeah, I was too critical of Moyes. I'll be honest, but in terms of, I was getting worried about the direction Moyes was going in. To be honest, I thought he was going expensive and old. It is what I started to kind of get from Moyes, like signings like JWP at 30 million pound, wanting Harry Maguire, wanting to spend 80% of the Declan Rice money in an already aging squad on a direct replacement in João Palhinha, when you could have actually split it up and reinvested into the squad. Like, they were worrying signs for me, to be honest. But I can't knock Moyes for what he achieved, right? For me, I don't like to feed into narratives which are reeled out all the time, but they are constantly looking for people to blame. Like, I couldn't believe when we got rid of Lopetegui. They got rid of Steiden as well. It's like, all right, Steiden may not have had a perfect window, but at least Steiden has kept up with events. You know what I mean? So even if he even if he was there with Potter, he could have said, right, the team is right.
Yeah, but the only thing I say was the Steiden thing, right, is that people were believing that he was going to change the game for West Ham.
I was critical of Steiden, but I genuinely believe that Steiden had picked up what mistakes he had made in the window and was planning to rectify them in the next window. For me, he missed out on. I'll give Steiden a bit of protection here, yeah.
Right.
For me, we missed out on a box-to-box midfielder for Fana, for example, because Moyes wanted JWP. JWP's just been sent on his second loan now, yeah.
Right.
And and we got Fulkrug, and I think it became apparent to people after a few months that we probably need someone doing a little bit more up top than Fulkrug.
Yeah, but wouldn't you say that Fulkrug
on Duran for Fulkrug? So
but wouldn't you say that Fulkrug signing was more on Steiden than anyone?
I think the ball got cold feet on Duran, and then it got a little bit lastminute.com, and he was like, right, well, we've only
I agree with you on that. I do agree with you on that, because the moment the John Duran deal, right? I know we're reminiscing here, but the moment the John Duran deal fell apart, I remember it. Yeah, they go, oh, now we're going after Nicholas Fulkrug, and was like, well, hold on a minute, you've just been going for a young, I think he's 22 at the time, Duran, player, and then you've gone from a young striker who's Premier League proven to a German international who's never played in the Premier League. But where's the logic in this? The Sullivan thing, I think there's a lot of things that people will remember, and people got carried away.
I'm not saying Sullivan's reign was perfect.
Nah, it was never perfect, mate.
But I did sense that he had that kind of thing where he was like, all right, we F this up, we'll go and address this and this when it comes up. And then when Potter come in, listen, anyone who watched West Ham, it's not as if we were an under-the-radar team. It's not as if we were an under-the-radar team. There are neutrals who will recognise the identity of West Ham under Moyes when we were good. 4-2-3-1, two solid DMs in front of the back four, and a nice balanced front four going to hurt teams, yeah? If Potter paid any attention to like football, he would have known that that side is built for 4-2-3-1. I just need to see what I need to improve on. But he totally changed the dynamics of the side. Totally changed the dynamics.
What it is to round this up, is basically when you've got Lopetegui in charge, then you've got Potter in charge, then you've got Nuno in charge. We've literally gone back to what we had under Moyes, really, to a point. People wanted a possession-based game. We tried that with sort of Potter. That didn't work. Lopetegui was more high intense, but you know, even the Chelsea home game a few years ago, and I'll never forget where I was that day, right, when we got absolutely annihilated. And I was in the car. I'd been away on holiday with the missus. And I was in the car coming back, and I was watching the game on my phone, and I was going absolute berserk. I could not believe Edson Alvarez running in fucking quicksand, and people. It was just mayhem. It was just mayhem. And then obviously now we've gone back to Nuno, who's ultra negative, and he's negative, right? And
one thing I give Nuno credit for, even though I don't like. I'm not over. I don't want to say I don't like them because they're here now and they have put effort in and they are on 2 wins on a bounce, to be fair to them. And they are grafters, yeah? But one thing about Nuno, in his first reign, he has been defensive, yeah? Right. But all his signings have been attacking players so far. All his signings have been attacking players. So and another thing is, but I've been saying this for a long time as well. When people were saying we need 2 centre backs coming into the January window, it's like people were not keeping up with what's going out and what's coming in. Like last summer, I've said this before, we lost Kudus, Antonio, Soler, Ferguson, Ings. They're all attacking players. And we bought one in Wilson that I'm glad that the board realised we need to go and add attacking players to this team. I still think there's a quality issue at centre forward, and I want another centre forward. Me personally, if you've got any money to spend, go and get me a runner up top. But we'll see. We'll see. I don't think Paqueta should be replaced with a like-for-like player, innit? I feel like you could look at Tati to be your new Paqueta kind of thing, or Fernandez.
I understand. Yeah, like people have said that to me. Funny enough, they said, "Well, Fernandez can do that Paqueta role, but you still got to replace the player, though, ain't you? Like, yeah, because when you look at,
it doesn't have to be a 10, is what I'm saying. It doesn't have to be someone who gets on the ball and looks up. I wouldn't mind someone for Tati or Fernandez or someone like that to get on the ball and look.
As long as they've got a plan in place, right? Then I can accept whatever they're going to do. At the minute, I don't think they've got a plan, mate. If you want me to be honest,
I'd love Duran. I'm not sure how true the stories are of him not being totally settled at Fenerbahce, and I think it is a tough deal to do because obviously you've got to. He's on loan to them, but then again, I posted this on my Facebook the other day. This is why I rate Villa with the Tammy Abraham signing. That's the same kind of deal that you're looking at. You have to deal with the club that are loaning them and the club that own them. But I'm not being silly, but that's what you do. If you want the player, that's what you do. You know what I mean? But I'd like a player like that. I wouldn't mind seeing Adama and someone like that up top together and just go and press the life out of teams and then see if Bowen and Somerville can come in off their flanks and and operate off the.
So let me ask you, Damien. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
What do you reckon on Saturday?
I think we might. I think we. You know what? I'm never one to give a prediction, but I think we might get a draw out of Chelsea. I think we could get a draw out of Chelsea. To be honest, I'm not. This thing. If Nuno can remove the bum boy nature in which he relies on Mendes all the time, I'd be really, really sold on Nuno. I'll be honest, because a big indicator. Did you see the training video they did yesterday?
I see it. Yeah.
It's a good spirit though. That people are laughing, joking. I remember when Potter was here, people were like there was no noise in the training ground.
One thing I will say, I think Nuno's looked at this and gone, right, he's pinpointed games that West Ham are must wins.
I think people naturally respect Nuno.
Well, I tell you what.
I know he's had some clangers tactically, but I just think people are naturally more drawn to him than the likes of Potter and Lopetegui. I think people are willing to deal with him.
I don't know about that, because I feel like some of the things he's done is one of the reasons why West Ham are in this situation. Like for me, if someone said to me right now, would you get rid of Nuno at the end of the year, right, regardless of whether West Ham start or go down, I'd say yeah.
Really? There's a few people with a polar opposite view to that. I'm not. I would. I'll let you carry on, but just to let you know, I am not in that mentality at the moment with Nuno. I'll be honest.
At the end of the day, if he starts winning games of football, then everyone's going to be happy, right? But the problem is, and this is where I do look at Nuno, I look at him and I think some of the games you've put us in this situation because you've been negative, right? And if you would have been more proactive and gone, you know what, fuck this, we're going to try and go for the jugular here, then I can accept it. Yeah, it's what worries me with Nuno is in crunch games, because these are crunch games now, right? All of us who's watching this right now, who are West Ham fans, will go, every game's a crunch game. There's going to come a game where we're going to be in the lead, and is he going to fuck it up for us, right? In regards of, are we 1-0 up or are we 2-1 up? And he's going to go, right, let's pull the drawbridge up and let's try and see this out, and it costs us. Because
no, he is defensive.
He's more defensive than Moyes, mate. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
more.
He is. But the one excuse I do give him is the example of the amount of attacking players we lost last summer without replenishing, bro. I'm telling you, like these are literally names that were on our books on the last day of the season that are no longer here anymore. Kudus, which is a huge one, yeah. Antonio, which obviously there's circumstances behind why we didn't even get a 60-minute Antonio. Soler, who had some good games left wing, could play as a 10. Ings, he used to come on and affect games sometimes. Moyes used him as a 10 sometimes. And Ferguson, who, albeit on loan, is a lump who you could at least play towards. All five of them are no longer with the squad, and the only attacking player that Potter decided to bring in was Callum Wilson. And so okay, you've got some attacking options in the squad, but I don't think Nuno's had a lot to deal with, and I do respect the fact that he's prioritised attacking players. I would have wanted higher quality, but
yeah. So let me ask you then: do you think then do you think he's going to keep us up? That's the $1 million question, really. Because
it's a tough ask. Me personally, I'll take Disasi on loan because I feel like if you've got competition for places at training between Todibo, Mav, Disasi, and Kilman, yeah, I think that's enough. Yeah, you've got two quality. You've got 4 quality fullbacks. If you think about AWB and Diouf and Scholes and KWP, for me, that's a complete set for a team that hasn't got Europe.
Yeah.
And all you've got is the league to contend with. That is a complete set to me. Yeah. midfield to me is a bit light. It does lack a creative player, but the way we've gone is 4-4-2. So you're kind of relying on Fernandes to dictate the game and another one to kind of cover him almost. And then
Yeah, but is Thomas Souček though the guy to listen? And I don't mind Thomas Souček, but
yeah,
can
I
he?
know what you mean.
But can he? Like, can you? But can you rely on him to be with Fernandes from now to the end of the season?
He's done well so far, is all I'm saying. Listen, I've always felt this midfield is a little bit light. Always. I wanted another. I always feel like there was a quality drop off when we lost Rice. Right now, I get you're not gonna go out and buy another Rice. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, but to me, when we sold Rice, I say this all the time, but I don't think JWP was the right profile of player to buy. I think you needed Alvarez and another 6 foot kind of midfielder who's going to protect the midfield. So you're looking at Alvarez, one more like that, who's kind of like is happy to be behind the ball, and Souček, and then and then you've got talent. Then you had talent up top like Bowen, Antonio, Kudus, Paqueta, Somerville. Now you've got those kind of players, but so I feel like I don't feel like midfield's perfect. I'd love another midfielder, innit? But the thing is with midfield is what kind of midfielder do you want? You know what I mean? Like
the man to go and get is Hayden Hackney.
I know you say that, yeah.
Yeah, like he's there, right? And the problem is with Borough, is Borough doing well. And you'd have to pay the money to get him out of there, right? Would he look at it and think he's taking a risk, right? I don't understand why we're not going after him. He's the sort of player we need. If West Ham was to go and do that, I'd be over the fucking moon, because you can have Hackney and Fernandes in a midfield too, and that's pretty decent.
Physical enough, James? Has that got enough physicality about it? They're both kind of like I haven't seen enough of Hackney. I like how well-rounded Fernandes is, but surely you need someone with like some real physical presence if they're playing as a two.
Yeah, I understand.
It seems a very offensive pairing for me, with not doing much to protect the back four.
I don't know.
I'm Italian. I am defensive though, so
I'm
naturally defensive. You know what I mean? I'd play 8 defenders if I could.
Right. Before I let you go, what's your opinion on the Lucas Paqueta thing? Obviously, he's gone. What you saying about that?
Listen, me personally, I've got a long view of Paqueta's time here. I feel like we didn't do enough to build around him. I think he become the right player to sell once you sold Tatty. I don't know what happens behind closed doors. It's tough for me to say. I think I don't know what conversations have been had. I don't want to side with Paqueta because he left mid-season. I don't want to side with the board because I know they've got history for it. I'm more concerned about how the money is invested in the
so would you, because what I'm hearing is people saying like, are we going to spend the money, right? Or Sullivan's going to pocket the money. The problem is that the only players that we're going to buy are really championship players. Like, I can't see us going after a top end player who's going to want to come here for 6 months, right? Unless West Ham put a relegation clause in there and we go from there. I just can't see that. Like, I'll just, like, it'd be mad. Like, are West Ham about to drop another 40 minutes?
That's what I suggested. I wanted Promise David. Who's in Belgium.
Belgium, yeah.
Earning he's out of the Champions League, by the way, at the moment. He just come out of the Champions League. But I was saying stick a relegation clause in there. So if we do get relegated, which I don't think we would have if we would have got him, I think he would have just led the line so much that like Bowen, Cree, Paqueta, and any other attacking players you've got just benefit off it. But what I was saying with him, what I was saying with him is if he's a bit worried about coming to a relegation club, club in concern of relegation, say you buy him for 25 mil, you say to him, look, we will sell you for 25 million if we go down, and then the world's seen you in the Premier League, so they buy you at the rate we bought you, and we get our money back. And we
see. I agree with you on that. Actually, I really do agree with you on that. I think that's fair. I think you're giving someone the opportunity from the Championship to play in the Premier League.
Mate, not even Championship, Belgium League. I checked.
Or even the Belgium League, right?
He's on about $6,000 a week, James. $6,000 a week, bro.
You know, we wouldn't mind $6,000 a week. I know that. You know what I'm saying?
No. But by Premier League football standards, $6,000 a week, bro. I'm sure we've got youth team players on as much as that, bro.
Right. So if you're not going to give me a prediction for Saturday, which is fair,
I'll go draw.
I'm going to do my preview later, right? And it's going to come out tomorrow. Come Monday night after 7 o'clock, how many players will West Ham sign from now till then?
From now to then, I'll go with 2. I'll go with Disasi and 1 more.
Goalkeeper?
I hope not. Well, for me, it best not be my guy Areola. I'm telling you, Areola's my guy, man. I'm telling you.
There's a lot of rumours. There's a lot of rumours about Turkey, mate. I mean, like, someone messaged me earlier on, funny enough. I'll say this. Someone messaged me earlier on and said, James, don't be surprised if Areola's gone before the end of the window, right? Because it would make sense. He's a high earner and all.
I know he's a big earner, but the thing is about Areola, I look on social media, when I look at Areola, he looks like, and just on a personal level, I don't like to talk about like players like this like too much on social media, but Areola's my guy, Areola looks like he has the bloody perfect life, and is it? I couldn't imagine Areola wanting to leave, but and he's been absolutely fantastic this season. So I definitely am not. Hermansen to me is the red flag. To me, you paid 18 million for a substitute goalkeeper.
The reason why Hermansen, I think, is becoming a problem because of the World Cup, and obviously he wants to represent Denmark in the World Cup come the summer. He ain't going to do that if he's on the bench for West Ham and he's only playing cup games. Do you know what I'm saying?
I think he might even get it. But Hermansen, the only reason, the situation I look at with goalkeeper is if you can make some cutbacks by going to find Hermansen a team where he starts for, and we get someone who's happy to be a second, and you shave a little bit of money off the wage bill, then I'm okay with that. Just accept it as a bad transfer and try and recoup some money back on it. Hermansen wouldn't be a terrible first choice keeper, but Areola's been absolutely brilliant.
Do you know what worries me, and this does worry me, is come the end of the window, West Ham let go of Areola, bringing in this Kinski geezer from Spurs.
Looks like another Hermansen.
He looks shit, mate.
He looks terrible.
Right, but Nuno wants him apparently. Yeah, Nuno's apparently he's adamant that Nuno that's the guy he wants. Now, is that the right move? Go and getting rid of Areola?
No,
it ain't. But from a business aspect, and let's look at it from a business aspect.
Hermansen, man, you need to find a new club. Hermansen, if anyone gets this message to you, bro, go and find a new club, man. This is Areola's club, bro.
Mads, go and find a new club, son. You know what I mean?
Mads, bro. But for me, asking that, I'll go draw. I'll predict a draw versus Chelsea, and I'd say 2 players. I expect Disasi within the next couple of days, who, like yourself, I'll take. And on probably another attacking player. So that's what I would expect. But
nice one, Damien. Take it easy, man.
Big up.
Peace.
Bye.
That's been Damien. I agree with most of what Damien said tonight. I'm going to be honest. I really do. I'm a little bit concerned about the Areola thing. I'm not going to lie. When I'm hearing things about Turkey, and that would feel like a bold move to go and get rid of Areola, because then you are trying to save money then. Do you know what I mean? And you're trying to cut the wage bill down even more so. We just got to hope that we can get something at the weekend. And hopefully, if we can, then the belief in the camp will start to come back, hopefully. And, we can be a bit more positive. It's going to be an hard game at Chelsea, don't get me wrong. But one thing with this club is every time we think we're down, we always come back from the dead. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to wrap it up there, ladies and gentlemen. I've been going for an hour and 40 minutes. I really appreciate all using the chat, all the new members and all that. Thank you very much for joining. I will be putting out something tomorrow. And I'll be back at next time I'm live will be on Saturday night. I'll be doing a live watch along for the Chelsea game. I hope we don't get hammered in that one, because hopefully we can get a positive result and just keep this momentum going. We've got 15 cup finals. Let's win them all. I'm saying. And then we might be all right. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to let you go and enjoy your evening. Have a good one. And I will see you again very, very soon. Bish, bash, bosh. Out of here.